Saurabh, and you're listening to my favorite talk show, The Weekly Show with
Aditya Digital Network presents episode number 168 on the 12th of February 2020. Sports and academics often run parallel, especially in a country like India where performance in either of these domains can propel an individual's career and make him the cynosure of one's eye. Let's discuss this further. Putting it in the Indian perspective, one's life is divided into two parts. How does an individual do in the academics, and how does an individual do in sports? Be it the multiple exams students give in their lives. In sports, such exams take the form of under 19 or under 17 or junior world championships, be it the exams, school leaving exams, or the junior world championships. There is an almost infallible expectation that the person who are representing the country or representing the school will perform up to such an extent that there will not be one iota of a mistake. For example, individuals love to flaunt their board exam results even if they have reached a stage in their lives where these exams are now meaningless and history. Even after reaching a certain stage in one's life, the results in the board exams, be it 10th or 12th, are often seen as the stepping stone to an individual's academic prowess. Those documents become a very important part of an individual's treasury. It is the same way with the Junior World Championships. Such Junior World Championships in various sports often propel the sports person to the next, that is the senior level, of whose equivalent is college in the academics domain. Often such sports persons are rewarded by being included in the senior team. Such individuals have included the likes of Virat Kohli, Manu Bhaker, Saurabh Chaudhary. The performances of these individuals at the junior championship level, though the competition is often not considered to be as competitive as is at the senior level, but still it is a stepping stone to be included at the senior level and continue the performance. It's not just about the individual's performance at these junior levels, that includes the board exam at the academic level and the junior world championships at the sports level, but the involvement of the support staff. In the sense of academics, it's the teachers, the administrations, the parents, the often questionable tuition centers. At the academic level, such stakeholders are also included in the performance of their wards, that how these individuals made sure that their wards would perform up to their full potential, and that parents, teachers sacrifice their own fun times. It's the same story as far as the sport level is concerned, especially in the junior world championships. There is a discussion that if a team or an individual does well at the junior world championships, the support staff is also lauded for their hard work, and the sports federation are also given accolades that how these sports federation made sure that the best of facilities is provided to the sports person. They are not distracted by the unnecessary things like digital media. They remain focused. The team or the individual plays as many matches as possible before the Junior World Championship so that they are mentally, physically, and emotionally prepared for such a tournament. So, in every way, sports and academics are mirror images of each other, especially in the context of the Indian ecosystem. system. And the performances at the junior level, be it the board exams or the multiple sporting junior world championships. So there is a huge difference if an athlete gets a gold medal at the junior championship level and a gold medal at the Olympics level. At the junior level, one still appreciates the performance. On the other hand, we still question the competition and the fact that whether these junior world championship winners are prepared for the senior level or in this case the Olympics. And as always, our attitude is often skewed. In academics, if an individual gets 98% in their board exams, the flawed human habit is to give them so much of publicity that it goes to their heads. The same is the case with an sporting individual who gets gold medal at the junior level. But on the extreme end, if a student gets 75% in their board exams, we say it is not enough to get into a good college. Similarly, if a sports person at the junior level gets a silver or a bronze medal, the habit is to not talk about them or say that yes, they got a bronze or a silver medal, but it's not good enough to become a part of the senior team and continue this at the big stage, which is Olympics. This attitude is an inherited attitude and it's not going away. Virat Kohli, for example, will be always known as the captain who won the Junior World Cup, even though he is not able to win at the senior level as a captain on his own. There is almost an infallible expectation that Virat Kohli has to repeat the same feat at the senior level as well. In the academic sense, what happens after a 98% student gets into a good college? They are forgotten. They become part of the humongous humanity called the university ecosystem. Once they are drowned into that ecosystem, they are forgotten, and even if they pass or they fail at the university level, we are not concerned. That is how sports and academics and our attitude towards both these domains run parallel to the other. They are almost mirror images. The higher the benchmark, the more the pressure on these individuals, be it from the sporting or the academic domain. Pre-boards, the lull before the storm. Should pre-boards be conducted by different schools? From the student's point of view, it is seen as an unnecessary burden because one has to then focus on such anxiety-fueled, confidence-reducing entity. It can be seen in a lot of ways. On one hand, it is a perfect option for the students to test themselves whether they are prepared for the big exams. On the other, frequent trips to school and worrying about the result of such exams can often reduce the confidence of a student. Pre-boards will work if there are no results associated with it, meaning that if a student goes to a school and gives pre-boards, it should be only seen as a practice test, but the result in these pre-boards cannot be counted as what will happen in the eventual event, that is the actual World Cup. In the student sense, it's the pre-board. If it's seen as an excuse to study and do better, that works, but as long as there are no marks associated with the pre-boards, as long as the impression doesn't come from the school's side that if you perform badly in a pre-board exam, then this trend will continue in the actual main event. As long as the marks are kept away from this, it works. But once the marks also become a part of this and the school starts questioning and hounding the students based on the performance of such exams, then these exams have no substance. But then the question is, do we need so much of preparation Do we need exams to test our rote and memory skills? It's a question which doesn't have a concrete answer because in the contemporary times or over the last 15 years, board exams have often taken a backseat as parents and other factors often influence students to focus on much bigger picture that are the competitive exams. 99 percentage in the board exams won't make a difference if the student doesn't qualify in these qualifying exams, that is the entrance exams. One school of thought would say that such pre-boards often simulate the ambience in the actual exam. Another school of thought would say that knowing that the papers are going to be evaluated by the teachers we know as students, it can often be subjective and not objective assessment. Often the parents and the passive stakeholders, which includes the administration, the schools, which are more anxious about these exams than the students themselves. In my viewpoint, last minute preparation is a word that should be removed from the dictionary. Student hasn't studied slowly the entire year, then these last minute preparations are meaningless. They have no substance. Comments in a pre-board cannot be seen as a way to tell that one is prepared or not prepared for the board exams. As said before, the evaluators often don't evaluate in an objective and a fair manner, knowing that answer sheets they evaluate are known to the teachers. There is no element of surprise and the assessment is often prejudiced. First part is if students and teachers conduct a post-mortem after in whatever manner in these practice exams. Moot point is, do we even need any kind of exams, whatever be the nomenclature, calling it a board exam or a pre-board? Entire education system rests upon selecting individuals based on their marks in their schools or in their colleges, then that entire education system needs to be revamped. Stakeholders have to be more mature in this situation. The stakeholders have to stop comparing students' marks to other students or a school's performance to other schools, or whether the pass ratio in a certain year was more than the pass ratio in a previous year. The only objective of appearing for such examinations is to eventually pass, not an overall development of the student. The entire education system is nothing more than demoralizing. A certain city, which is often called an education city, is seen as a factory for producing engineers, doctors, and individuals of other fields. This flawed notion will often backfire because the moment one uses the word factory, the essence of being a human being is being insulted. The system, as always, is falling into an abyss. Entire focus of an individual or of an ecosystem is on getting careers in a certain field or getting a job after graduating from college or higher studies. Our definition of what is studies and what is skill development, knowledge and understanding is primitive. Still, as an ecosystem, we overcome this flawed attitude and seeing individuals as factories and cities as factories produces engineers and doctors in large numbers. Then there is no skill development, there is no knowledge, and there is no upgradation. What is a primitive society? No matter how much we presume ourselves to be advanced because we have access to multiple technological devices, still this attitude remains. We may as well call ourselves cave dwellers. Your job begins to define your identity. The term job is no more than an abstract term. Since childhood, humanity has been molded to become a part of a certain domain, be it in academics or sports. So the pride in calling oneself as teachers, doctors, entrepreneurs, auditors. This is a part of basic human psychology. Question is, does one need to qualify everything as a job? Can one move beyond primitive terms such as jobs and employment? Humans tend to identify themselves through a lot of mirrors. See ourselves through the mirrors of community, family, and such abstract notions. These notions are often existential and subjective but never objective. Using metaphysical terms such as career, workplace, company, occupation, trying to identify ourselves as a part of a certain job, the occupation often becomes a part of a community, or community often forms a job. Often a sense of false collective identity and presuming that it helps make instant connection and bonds with new people. This is counterproductive because humans from the day they are born are trained to be competitive people. There is no proof better than saying that over 1,000 people apply for the same job and only one or two people are lucky based on factors which are often biased and prejudiced. When there is a conversation about teamwork, still team is nothing but a bunch of selfish people brought together to compete and compute a task that benefits on an individual to individual basis. Only if the individual is benefited by the process, then it can only benefit the team. Critical question that why do over a lakh people apply for the same job and why only one or two individuals are selected? Answer is that the two individuals selected are the best for the job. They have all the qualifications, the experience, which is another abstract term, till the time revenue generation, profits directly proportional to why an individual does a job. There is no learning, there is no growth. Individuals' success is seen by the money they bring to a company or the profit they generate. Entire definition of growth will remain a part of imagination. And such has been the rise and the way human civilizations have been born and brought up, that revenue generation, marks, medals have remained a part of this and will continue to do so. There is a huge transformation in the definition of success and failure. Every time we associate success and failure with everything we do, be it sports, academics, or in our professional life, beings as a community are unlikely to grow. England continued their share of luck in the ODI leg of the India's tour of New Zealand as they beat India 3-0, often called a whitewash. Oft repeat question kept coming back. Did Bumrah's inability to take a wicket, the experience of Rohit Sharma at the top of the order contribute to these losses? Yes and no. Rohit Sharma is a decent batter and a good player. There is time to move on from him and look at the future of this particular sport. Pleased to see a new opening combination in the form of Agarwal and Prithvi Shaw. It's important to respect the new individuals who come into the team, and there cannot be this wild expectation that they will come immediately and start scoring centuries at the first go. Unrealistic and abstract expectations have to be dissolved. Bumrah doesn't pick up a wicket, fine. Not the end of the world, it happens. There is no use crying over spilled milk. All the three matches, Virat Kohli did not contribute, but that's fine. We have to see if one can move beyond Kohli, and this was a good for all the new players. And for me, the most heartening thing was the maturing of KL Rahul and Shreyas Iyer. Why are we crying over the fact that Virat Kohli hasn't scored 100 in the last 8 to 9 matches? Again, like Bumrah, it's not the end of the world. Halo effect created around the likes of Bumrah, Kohli, Rohit Sharma was sooner than later was going to be shattered. It's not a surprise that when the players said that for them the one-day matches in the World Cup year of T20 are not important, it may be seen as an excuse. You lost the match, you may as well come up with such plus excuses. And this is equally our fault. Take these individuals up to such a high standard at such a high level, and when these individuals in a couple of matches do not perform as per our expectations, easily bring them down. Not the players whose attitude has to change as far as winning and losing is concerned.